From pottery to profit, Bedo Rodriguez has taken his 20 years of experience and his love and passion for ceramics and created his very own business, which he brings to the community of Rochester, Minnesota. There's lots to learn with this, so let's dive in. Bedo, tell us a little bit about your business. You started a new business here in Rochester. Yep. Tell us about that.
So yeah, what we're doing is we opened a pottery over by the Corn Tower, so on 3rd Ave. And what it is mostly a teaching studio. So I have classes. We do different types of classes, kid camps where kids come in for the week and make pots. We do some adult classes that are a little more extensive. They're a little longer. They last 4 weeks. They go in twice a week, for 4 weeks. And it's also my personal studio, which is nice because before this I was working out of the garage. So it's really nice to do that. We also have memberships. So people can come in 24 hours a day and make pots. And it's all it is a pottery. Nothing more, nothing less. Is kind of how I like to.
That's cool. And you've been doing pottery for like 20 years now. And it's been a hobby, a passion of yours. And now you've turned it into a business.
Yeah, I think I started, I'd have to look at my college transcripts when I took my first class, but I think it was about 19, 20 years ago. I've been saying 20 years for a couple years now, so I don't know, it's probably something like that. But yeah, it just started as, I think I took that first pottery class just because it was something different. It was early in college, and I'm like, oh, that looks like fun. It looks easy. And I remember stacking the rest of my schedule with harder classes, thinking this one was going to be easy. And this one, the pottery, took the most amount of time. I was in the studio for 9-10 hours a day. Not the history and English. And so then over the years, I took more and more and more. And next thing you know, you're like, hey, I'm doing this. I went up to the U of M, and I would drive up there. And so that's when I bought my first wheel. I bought it just to do my homework because I didn't want to drive up an hour and a half to make a couple pots and drive back. So I bought a wheel. I thought, well, I'll just do this at home. And then it's like, well, you need a fire. So then I bought a kiln. And next thing you know, you're like, hey, I have everything here. Am I a potter or am I still a I don't know. At some point, you're just like, I've been doing this longer than I've been doing anything else.
Right. So now you've taken that passion, that experience that you have, and now you've started Aveli Pottery here in Rochester. Now there's a difference, right, of doing something that you enjoy, just doing it by yourself, and now running a business. So you're running a business. Tell us a little bit more about the business side of things. What are some of the struggles or the benefits that you're seeing with it?
Well, when I was doing this out of my garage, there wasn't a lot of pressure. It was, if I made something, I did. If I didn't do it for a month, it's no big deal. Well, now I have bills, so I have to keep going. So there's that pressure, which is good, though, because when I think back on just working in my garage, I had so much leeway to do things or not do things and just, it's like, I'll do that later, where now it's like, no, you need to get in there and get that done because the bills need to be paid.
Right.
And, for example, the other night, I wanted to go home. It was, midnight. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go home. I'm like, I need to make clay because I have somebody potentially coming in to work on clay. She has a membership. I need to have it there. So it's like, okay, go to the back room, mix up clay, put it there in case she comes in. I don't even know if she is, right? So I just have to always be prepared.
Right. So is that kind of like one of the more like tough lessons that you've learned so far? Or like what are some of those like tough lessons you learned being in business? Because it's not always easy and glamorous. There's a lot of moving parts with it.
So the toughest thing is just there's a lot of unknowns and things happen. So it's definitely more expensive than what I thought. Like for example, I needed to have something installed on the sink that costs way more than I didn't expect that. So yeah, that's one of them. But yeah, it's just there's a lot of unknowns that happen every day. Like, what do I do? Let's put out this fire. Let's do this. Let's do that.
But then how do you manage that, right? Like that's kind of exhausting in a way. You just want to be able to go to work and make pottery, and you want to be able to teach others how to do this, and you want to bring that enjoyment. So like, how do you get over that? How do you get through those times?
You don't have a choice, right? You just power through. And I have a list of things. It's a mental list of probably 30 things that need to be done, and if I can knock off a couple, great. And then the other 27 will be there tomorrow, plus a couple new ones. So I'm just always just going, trying to knock them off. Yeah. It's just.
So I think it's kind of like building those habits,
Yep.
or building those routines that you just kind of follow daily, I would say.
Yep.
Just so that you don't like fall and like get behind in anything. Being a part of the business owner, being a business owner too, you got, I imagine, several different tools that are helping you be successful, whether that be online POS systems or whether that be systems in place in your business there. Tell us a little bit about those, the tools that help you be successful in being a business owner.
So I think the ones, I use Facebook a lot for ads. That's been, I think, pretty good. It's not terribly expensive, and it seems like there's a good return. If I throw an ad on, and you can pick how much the ads cost. So if I throw an ad, I notice right away I'll get a sign up. Somebody will sign up through the ad, and just one person signing up will usually pay for the ad that runs for 4 or 5 days. So that's been a good tool. I have to do more Instagram things just to, before I wouldn't do them for maybe 6 months. But now I do them more frequently. Another tool that I noticed I've been using a lot is to keep track of things. It's just using my calendar. I used to never use a calendar for things because I would just go to work. You don't forget you have to go to work. But that was my only kind of responsibility. Now it's, somebody wants to do a studio tour and it might be 2 weeks from now, but there's no way I'm going to remember that. So while they're on the phone, I put it in the calendar, and all these things, my calendar's really booked, or there's just I can't keep track of it mentally anymore like I used to be able to.
Right. I think having that organization is key.
Huge.
Because what happens if you forget to order your clay?
Yeah. No. That's something I need to do Saturday morning. I bought 1,000 pounds of clay, and I still have a little bit, but I can't run out. Like, I can't run out because it's not something I can go to Target to buy.
Right.
I have to go to Minneapolis, and I can't do it during the week because I have classes in the morning and they close at 5. So the only time I have this week, I have to get up there on Saturday. It's just, I have to if I don't, I'm in trouble because I don't know when I'm going to get it.
Right. So there's no shipment coming to you. You have to go to get it.
Well, I can have it shipped, but we also need to control expenses. It's hundreds of dollars to have it shipped.
You said 1,000 pounds, right?
Yeah.
What is that going to cost in shipping and handling?
I don't even know. I'm gonna go get it. I think when I first looked into it for the first time, I want to say it was $200 or $400. Yeah, no, that's now you're reminding me I have to go buy clay on Saturday.
I'm glad I reminded you. No, so
I better put it on the calendar.
Yeah, exactly. So it is helpful to have these tools, right?
Yes,
like you need
sure.
to have. Okay, so you talked about the calendar you're using. You talk about a little bit with the ads. Let's dive a little bit more into that. So you've used Facebook ads. Have you used any other advertisements? Have you done anything locally as far as signage anywhere besides just on your own building? Have you done anything besides Facebook ads?
No, I mean right now I did have some signs put up on the building, and those I think look really they're nice. It's on that list of 30 things to do. I need to work on that more. That's something I do need to do and people don't know if they don't know we're there, they're not going to come in.
Right.
So I need to get people to know.
Yeah. It's hard, and it's really hard, I feel like, to know where are those advertisement dollars actually paying off the most. Because you put it, like you said, you put an ad out there, and it seems like people are coming in.
Yeah.
But what are some of the things that, I don't know, you run a TV ad, is that going to bring people in? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But it's always hard to know, is this money that I'm spending on ads, is it actually like turning into something for me?
Yeah, you hope so. You hope so. I did run one through Peach Jar through the school.
Okay.
So that one went out to all the parents of the district. That one was kind of neat, where I could pick the schools that I wanted to run the ads.
Sure.
In. So I just did all the elementary schools and all the middle schools. And
It's a smart play.
yeah.
I want to just kind of switch topics here a little bit, because we talked a little bit about like some of the struggles maybe, or like the hardships that come with being a business owner, such as having to work the calendar, having to be organized, having to buy all the things so that you can keep your business running. But so far, what have been some of like the joys or the benefits of running your own business?
Yeah, so it's a lot of work, but it doesn't seem like work. It helps that I really enjoy what I'm doing. You know, I didn't buy like a franchise where I'm just in it to make the money. So I just wanted a studio. I thought if I could just have this pay for itself just to have a studio. So that helps.
Sure.
I think it helps that I really enjoy, you know, even though I'm maybe super tired, at night I can go make pots. And it's like, it's relaxing. Throw on some music and make some pottery.
Right. What are some things that like keep you motivated to keep you going during those like harder times where maybe there's not as high of a class this week, or you have all the stresses of business that you got to run?
I think it gets back down to you just don't have a choice. So what's nice about having this, you know, when you work for somebody else, you go in, you do the job and you're done. Where this, you walk in, you're like, okay, that's not working. What can I tweak? What can I change? Can I run a different class? Okay, that's not bringing in money. What will bring in money? Let me make some pots, have a sale. So you're always like adjusting and fine tuning things, and you're trying to, so it keeps you on your toes more so than just, you know, like if I went to work retail.
Right. I think for me, this is one thing that I kind of think would be a motivator is it's got to be so fun and rewarding working with kids or working with adults even, and just seeing them like build something. They've never done this before, and they get to like, because of you and what you're bringing to the community, 100%. They get to do it. And that's got to just be super rewarding. Is.
So I work with kids during my day job, right? I think I work for the school district, so I substitute teach, and I work with all different grades. And it's nice to see these kids come in, and adults, and you see them excited to try this, because it's not something you can just do at home, right? Not everyone has a wheel, and so there is some equipment. They come in really excited, and then I see them maybe get frustrated, but I know within maybe an hour or the next day, it's gonna click. And by the end of the class, they're like, this was a lot of fun. I've already had kids return. Like they did it 1 week and they're like, we want to come back. So yeah, I think everybody that has done it enjoys it. I don't think I've ever really, maybe in all the years that I've been teaching classes other places, I've had maybe one or two that are like, nah, this isn't for me. But we're talking about hundreds of people, and they all think it's fun.
I think that one reason for that is, first of all, it's just a ton of fun, but another reason is you get to see the results right away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you get to see like, hey, I made this thing. It's so cool. The other side, and this is kind of the nursing side coming out on me a little bit, is you and I have talked before, but you are providing an opportunity for people that just isn't seem to be there anymore, which is for an hour, a little bit more, they are not able to use their phones. They are completely taken away from social media, from their screens, from anything, and you're giving them kind of this mental break. And that is, I think, so huge.
Yeah, I think parents really like that. I know my kids are on screens a lot, and so I have them do this. It uses a different part of their brain. And, you know, yeah, you're right. It just, you unplug for a little bit. Even adults, I think, benefit from that. It's just, yeah, you're off your screens. You can't really be on, your hands are dirty. You know, we have music going, and yeah.
It's just relaxing atmosphere.
Kind of.
Honestly. And you've done a really good job, too, I would say, in your space that you've created. It's very warm. It's very welcoming and very inviting. And I think it also feels very safe, right? Which is just, you need all those things, I think. And it just makes people want to keep coming back to you.
I'm glad you picked up on that, because when I first started thinking of how I wanted to put it together, first and foremost, I thought, I'm going to be here a lot. I knew I was going to be, and so I wanted a place that I wanted to be, right? And having worked in different studios, I would pick and choose things that I wanted to incorporate or leave out. So I put together this place where I want to be. So I remember back when I first started, I think I mentioned 8, 9, 10 hours I was there. Well, you may get hungry or want to drink. So and this was already in the building, which was really nice. There's a little kitchen, right? So I have a coffee pot. If you need a microwave, it's there. The other thing too is I like good music. And so I brought my record player, or I bought a record. I didn't want to bring mine.
Sure.
I bought one for the studio. I did bring my speakers because I had some pretty decent desktop speakers. So I brought those in the turntable, and I brought some of my records. So now I can spend 10 hours there. I have coffee, I have food, I have music.
Don't need to go anywhere else.
That's all I need.
You got it all.
And and you were there, and I even put up a little coffee table to relax.
Yeah.
So you're not drinking your coffee at your potter's wheel. You can break away. And if you want to check your phone,
at that time you could, I suppose, right?
You can have your coffee and check your emails, and so I like that. And I people have come in, and one of the things they always say is, "Wow, this is really nice in here." I get that a lot, and they almost want to just hang out.
It truly is like if you could mix a coffee shop right next to what you're doing there, like I think it would just be the perfect combination. It's such a cool feeling in there.
Yeah, I think, and other people, I like it. I don't mind being there. It's relaxing. Sometimes, at home, I might be distracted by the dogs, and so if I need to get work done, even if I know I'm not going to be making pots, I'll just go to the studio because I can make a pot of coffee. It's quiet, and I just do my computer work there.
Right. Yeah. I want to talk too a little bit. So we've talked about the business side of things and running the business, but you can't have a business without a location for it. So we're talking a little bit about the build out that you've had here. How did you go about finding a space? How long were you looking for a space? Tell us a little bit about that.
A lot of this was just an idea that you start with an idea and you're like, okay, does it work? Maybe. Okay, let's see. And I looked at quite a few places. Some of them, mostly I would look just online and see what's available. I walked through a few, and none of them really, I wasn't thrilled about any of them really. And then you found this one, and you said, hey, I think you should check this one out. And I remember thinking when I saw it online, I'm like, I don't want to see that one. It's across town, because I'm like, I don't want to drive there every day. And I think you said, I really think you should check this out. I think this is a good one. All right, I'll go check it out. And when I went there, I was like, okay, he was right. This is a nice place. I had never rented or purchased commercial real estate, but I had done residential stuff before. And going in, you always have a list of, I need this, I want this is a deal breaker, no. And I think that's how this was. And it checked off a lot of the, okay, I need this, right? It had... One of the hardest things to find was decent parking. So there were other places that I saw that were like, okay, this is pretty good. There's no parking. Well, how's that going to work? So yeah.
So what are some of those other factors? So parking is one. Location is huge, right? Because you can't be too far away from downtown, but you can't be in downtown because parking could be an issue. So what are some of those those factors that you were really looking for when you were trying to decide where to go?
There were some things that, obviously it had to work for a pottery. I couldn't get it just because I liked it or whatever. I didn't like it. If it was going to work, it was going to work. First and foremost, price. I mean, it has to be within, right? I mean, if it's too much, you can't do it. Size, that's another one. It has to work for a pottery. It can't be too small. So but then the second tier of what's important would be parking, location. I don't want to be driving 30 minutes out of town. There were places in maybe Zumbrode or Stewartville. I didn't want to do that because a lot of with pottery, I'm in and out. I leave my pots uncovered. I have to go cover them. I run home. So this is perfect. Actually, I can get there in it's exactly 10 minutes.
Oh, that's nice.
And that's not that bad. So yeah, no, all those things they worked out. The parking is good. I really like having a standalone building versus being in like a strip mall. Remember that one we looked at there was one with a music store next door.
Yeah,
and paper thin walls.
You could hear them playing.
Yeah,
you wouldn't need your record player
right away. I can't listen to this all day. I do not want to hear somebody learning how to play the sax.
Right. Yeah, having your own space. So I think things about your building that I love, one is it's your own space, standalone building, which is awesome. Two, being location for yourself personally, but then also for just a business, right? You're not too far out of the way. You're pretty close to what's going on downtown. But then also we looked at where you were at. You have a ton of traffic coming through.
Oh yeah,
every day. And I think that is huge for you. We were talking about advertising earlier and making yourself known. You have a great corner, which is super busy that you can capture.
I imagine that's probably one of the busiest in town.
It's got to be pretty close to it. Yeah.
I mean, people are going. I mean, it's always full there. There's construction, which slows people down. I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing. They have to stop and look.
Yeah. Yeah. And take a look around for a little bit.
I noticed the day the signs went up, I went to the street to take a picture, and I looked, and the traffic was backed up, and I saw a guy look. You could tell he was like, "What's that?" Reading the signs. So
Sure.
It worked.
I wanted to go back to the business side of things real quick here as well. So you have your space. It's a set size, right? It's about, I think it was 1,200 square feet around there.
I think it's 15.
Was it 15 around there?
I don't remember anymore.
So you have that set space. What does this mean then for growth for down the road and for your business as well? So how do you imagine your business growing in the next 5 years? And then what does that look like? Walk us through that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see. And I've already started thinking about this. I've had the people that have come in the most are all the kind of big name potters in town. They're like, "Oh, we heard about this. And a couple things that they said. One, they walked in and one of them, I think it was my former instructor. He came to check it out, and he goes, "You're going to need a bigger kiln." And I'm thinking, probably. And then another potter came in, and it was interesting. He mentioned, what did he say? He said he walked in, and he has his master's degree in ceramics, and he used to teach. And he said something like, he said, "You're doing exactly what I wanted to do 20 years ago." And then he looked around and he goes, "You're going to need a bigger place." Like right away, he's like, "This is going to take off. You're going to need a bigger place." So moving forward, let's say it's wildly successful. I could do a couple things. I can change it to only a membership only studio, and then potentially rent another smaller place just for classes. Maybe buy a place. I don't know. We're not there yet, but yeah, for now it's a great spot.
Yeah. It seems like it's working out great, and it seems like you already have had so much success with it, and just it's been fun watching people get excited about you and your business and what you're bringing to the community. I've seen your ads personally online, so the things that you're doing are working. I just would love to keep seeing you grow in it, and who knows what it'll look like in 5 years. Do you have a membership only, or do you have another spot?
Maybe 2 spots, or we'll see. One day at a time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, it's the way it's growing. I'm happy with it. It seems like in the last few weeks it's taken off. I've been pretty busy.
Good.
So yeah.
All right, I want to end this with asking one question. So we love to focus on business and focus on personal growth. What is the single most important piece of advice that you could give someone who is going into business?
Just do it. Take a chance on yourself, but realize it's going to be more expensive than you think. Right away, you're going to make less than you think, and you're going to put in way more hours.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today. If you're in Rochester or around this area and you are looking for something to do, check out Aveli Pottery. You can try out something new, and it is truly just so fun being able to get your hands dirty and step away from your phone for an hour. So thank you for bringing this to our community.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah.